Final press conference. Nicholas Bachalard is here training Ron the Greek in the Dubai World Cup. And just to clear up, the name issue, I know, just to understand, it will run as Ron the Greek, but in Saudi Arabia, of course, runs under a different name.
Different name. The stud book allows them to change names if they want to. In Saudi, well, special horses, so that's why they changed the name, but it's only for Saudi Arabia, so he will run as Ron the Greek in the World Cup.
First of all, how did you come to get the horse? And because obviously a very successful American career, so ending up here, how did it all come about?
I think the horse was presented to His Royal Highness, the King, and they decided that they would purchase him. You know, they always have in mind to win the World Cup. They purchased a few horses in the past. They had Die Never that finished second and Premium Tap that finished second in the World Cup when it was one on dirt. So I think it's always been a goal for them to try to win or at least be competitive in the World Cup.
Obviously, the form in America stands up, doesn't it? I mean, this is a very decent. Presumably, you're extremely privileged and excited to be training the horse.
I am blessed, you know, just to have the opportunity to train him. You know, for me, it's quite a chance of a lifetime, probably. The horse is in very good form. You know, the only question is going to be, and it'll be for everybody, the track. You know, whether he'll handle it or not. He ran one race at Gulfstream, at Keeneland on synthetic, where he finished fourth. Maybe the distance was a bit too short for him. It was 1:16. That was about 2 or 3 years ago. So I don't see why he wouldn't handle the surface, and no matter what, we're here to run. So whether he does or not.
But in a race like this, you've also got to be a tough horse, and there's no two ways about it. Ron the Greek, given his record, he's battle hardened.
He has, you know, and he's very well proven at 7. He's a very good traveller. He travelled well here. He's travelled just about all over the world now, you know. So I think he'd be very comfortable shipping here. For you,
as the trainer of this horse, how excited are you about having the opportunity, maybe, of giving Saudi Arabia the win in this race?
I just to have the opportunity to be in the race already, you know, I think it's big enough for me and even for Saudi. After that, to win the race would be a dream come true, probably, for not just for me, but for the country. You know, I think at the end of the day, the horse is probably running for the country too, you know. I mean, it'd be a great excitement for them. Racing is starting to improve, and they're trying to be a little more international there, so I think it'd be a big step up for them.
And you look at, we've obviously had many of the other trainers in already here this morning. When you look at the Hong Kong form and the other form, where do you think his form rates against all the other runners?
I think, you know, we'll have the best answer on the night, you know, and that's where we'll probably decide. I think it's a very competitive field this year. I'm not going to say there are standouts or no standouts. I think it's a very homogeneous field, and I think anybody has a chance. Everybody has a chance.
And the race, if you sort of play the race in your mind, how do you think it can work out for you?
You know, I think it's a horse, and after Loscano is going to ride him in the race. You know, I think it's a horse where everything will depend on the start for him. Sometimes he's a horse that puts himself in the race, and some other times, you know, he's kind of, you know, drops himself out. So I think the horse will dictate a little bit what's going to happen in the race. Hopefully, we won't be too far out of it. You know, we'll be sitting mid-pack probably. It was a good draw, and you know, from the 400, may the best horse win.
And obviously, I don't know, have you had much experience of Dubai World Cup night personally? Because it's a very different occasion, isn't it?
You know, I've been here the last 3 years. They ran a horse called Fly Down here that was running for Zito when he ran. So I was here when he ran, you know. So I've been here a few times. I used to work for Christophe Clément. I wasn't with him when Giopanti ran the World Cup, but I was here when the horse ran. So, you know, I've been there on the night.
And you know it's a different night, isn't it?
It is absolutely different. It's a night like no others. And, you know, it's a goal of everybody to win this race, you know, so I hope we can.
It'll be a special night if you do. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Any questions?
Nicholas, just wondering whether you've had a chance to chat to any of the other trainers back home about what it takes to prepare a winner for a World Cup.
Not really, to be honest with you. I didn't talk to anybody. I've been in close touch with Billy Mudd. He used to train the horse before. And, you know, for me, he's probably one of the best horsemen out there, you know. So he's been very good to me about the horse. You know, the horse came from him in good condition. He did 1 month of quarantine in Payson before he arrived. I think he arrived in Saudi the 27th of December. So, you know, after that, we just took the training from there. The horse ran 6 weeks ago. He won a race in Saudi. I think he has quite a bit to improve from that race because he wasn't, I don't think he was 100% there. But.
And how do you see his form back up? Oh, sorry, not back home. In the States, stacking up against the quality stays that the World Cup offers?
You know, on his best days, I think he's as good as any horse. You know, I mean, if we can have him ready, you know, on the day, I think he has a chance. and he'd be as good as anybody else. You know, he's proven in the Jockey Club Gold Cup that, you know, he's got the quality and he's got the class to do it, and he did win the Santa Anita Handicap too, so he's well travelled over different surfaces.
Sorry, who did you say rides?
Jose Lescano.
Oh, Jose Lezcano.
He's been riding him. I think the last 10 starts in America, he's ridden in there, so he knows the horse well.
Do you say 2 second-place finishes for Saudi in the past in the World Cup?
2 years for the King. They had a horse called Dinever that they purchased from Chris Clement, and they had a horse called Premium Tap.
In that sense, do you think Saudi's knocking on the door, so to speak?
Always, I mean, they're trying, you know, they at least want to be competitive in the race, you know, and something that they'll want to do. I think Dinever was second to Roses in May, and if I'm right, I think Premium Type might have been second to Invaser. So, you know, they run against 2 decent horses. Of course, that was on dirt, you know, that was at Nettle Sheba, and they haven't had the opportunity to run back. So, hopefully, you know, we all hope.
Nicholas, obviously the UAE is probably leading, if I can use that term, the racing industry in the Middle East, with Qatar perhaps a close second. Where do you see Saudi at the moment, and what would a win do in terms of lifting the profile of racing in Saudi?
I think a win probably would put them on the map. They're trying to improve all the time they're racing. You know, I think that they're going to the Asian conference just to have a few lecture on Saudi. They're trying to improve racing there. I'm not sure that they really want to be international. You know, I think they want to be recognized as a state. I think they're pretty happy to run. Most of the races in Saudi are for state breds, horses born and raised in Saudi Arabia. There are a few import races too, like the King's Cup is an import race. They have a few, but most of the racing is mostly focused on local breds. But I think they want to be recognized as a force for the future.
Saudi's quite a proud nation. Do you feel, I mean, and you're not on the support card, do you feel the pressure? Is there a big pressure on you or an onus on you, do you feel?
You know, in Saudi there is pressure all the time. You know, I mean, it's pressure to win. You know, racing in Saudi is, for me, probably, in a way, racing as its purest. You know, there is no betting, there is no gambling. I mean, they race to race. You know, it's mostly the king against the princes. You know, it's a proud. For them, it's to be proud. You know, and it's a great rivalry against them. You know, so not to have anybody on the undercard. I think they're working on having better horses and trying to get better horses to get there. There's a filly called Alsaika that won here this year. She won a 1,000-meter race, so it was an improvement. I had a filly that ran here. She finished 4th and probably a bit unlucky, probably should have won. So I think slowly but surely they're stepping up and going in the right direction. Pressure, of course there is pressure. There is always pressure, you know, but it's good pressure.